Hey Ramen in Common, it's Carl. I'm actually out running errands today, and I just figured that it would be a good time to make this intro for this video. I've only been back from Japan for about 72 hours, and the moment I landed, I contacted Mr. Thomas Tang from Samurai Noodle, asking if he would want to do an interview. He's been open now for a little over 3 years, and I wanted to ask him what went right, what went wrong, what did you learn, what could you do better, what was a good idea, how about the to-go idea, did it work out well? Here's something I found out that we actually didn't get on the video, is that the kansui for the noodles and the dry ingredients for the tare, for the ramen, actually come directly from Japan, and everything else is sourced locally. I didn't know that. But anyway, a lot of stuff in this interview you're going to find interesting. For example, did you know that the to-go ramen was actually influenced logistically by Amazon.com? Did you know that there's some mistake that ramen lovers make 9 times out of 10? It's all in this interview, but I digress. Enjoy. Ready to get started?
All right.
Okay, first off, good to see you.
Yeah.
Good to see
Thank you.
I want to show you something just for fun for long ago. You ready for this? This is the first time you ever contacted me.
Hi, Carl. When we're back in Houston, I've been following the group for a while, and it's been both educational and informative. Introduce myself. Wow.
That was the very first time.
What was your impression when you first got that? It's like, whoa.
I didn't know what it was about. I didn't know if you had a ramen group that you were promoting, or you were going to open a shop, or there was something you experienced that you had to let me know, like, hey, I ate this ramen and it was horrible and I got sick. I didn't know what it was about, but we met after that. That was 3.5 years ago.
Wow, that was quick.
Yep. Well,
felt like yesterday.
First off, congratulations to Samurai Noodle.
Yeah.
You're one of the mainstays now that everybody talks about in Houston. So if you don't mind, I'd like to ask you some questions for Ramen in Common.
For sure.
Okay. You've been here now for how long? 3.5 years?
Three and some change, yeah.
3 and some change. What would you have done differently knowing what you now know?
Very good question. I feel that we would have probably, as funny as it sounds, built a slightly nicer looking location.
Okay.
I don't think we would have changed anything in the food. I don't think we would have changed any of our processes. But I believe that there's a lot of perception when a person walks into a store. And if I had to do it again, I'd probably find a way to build a nicer store, looking store.
So what, a little more, what you're referring to, ambiance?
Yeah, a little bit more. Not too much more.
Yeah, I'm about to say, this is a ramen shop, man.
It is. And you're absolutely right about it, but not everybody walks in and understands that.
Oh, I see.
Right.
Okay. What did you definitely do right?
I think we stuck to what we knew. We stuck to what we served. Despite all the comments and disagreements with our food taste, we kept on going. We didn't change for the sake of satisfying the local community. I think we did that right and managed to bring people around who liked us for what we really served.
In terms of the location itself, meaning we're right off of I-10, right off of Durham, near South Shepherd, was this a good spot? Happy with it?
Right now, yes. And in all honesty, in the beginning, it was a very scary location. Everybody wants to open a shop next to some major anchor or something that people will go to.
Like an anchor tenant, like a Kroger or like a mall or something like that.
Yeah. But we decided that this was a great corner, and we believed that the attraction to ramen was enough that people would go search for ramen. So we took a bet. I think it worked out a lot better than we thought. On the evenings, the entire parking lot is ours, and it still fills up. So.
Oh, that's great. So after hours, after normal business hours, the parking lot's pretty much yours. Right. Oh, that worked out really well. Was that by design or by luck?
By luck.
By luck.
By
okay.
luck.
In your opinion, because you're going to be speaking directly to Ramen in Common, is there anything ramen lovers are still not understanding?
I would say that ramen lovers need to have an open mind when it comes to ramen. not all ramen shops are the same. Every ramen shop specializes in a specific type of ramen, and I said type, not style. I think a lot of places may use the word Tokyo style, Hakata style. I think ramen lovers need to know that while there are many types of ramen, we specialize in two, which is a Hakata ramen and a Tokyo ramen, not Tokyo style or Hakata style. Say that people should keep an open mind and discover ramen when they go eat, because while there are shops that have different offerings and things that people prefer, I think we need to all familiarize ourselves with the styles and understand the style of what each shop is trying to push and showcase. I think that's a very important thing.
When you first opened, you had the idea of doing ramen to go. Okay. And then eventually you did do ramen to go. How did that work out for you? Are you getting the orders you expected, or did it not work out and you're getting only a few orders? How did it go?
Very good question too. It's actually very interesting. Ramen to go is a phenomenal success.
It's a phenomenal success.
Yes. I mean, we are a ramen shop. We don't have TVs. We don't have, game channels. I mean, people have game day. Things like game day, people pick up ramen by the bags. A lot of people, as much as they appreciate the fact that ramen may not taste as good as they want later, they still want a samurai ramen. And they would like to have a chance to enjoy that, understanding that it may not be the best at some later time. Bringing on some delivery services really boosted that whole to-go business. And I would say it worked out a whole lot more better than we thought it would.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
A couple of things also we've learned. Amazon was a big proponent of how we started because of our relationship with Amazon out of Seattle. And they actually were the ones who pushed us into or correcting how we can serve ramen to go. And one of the things that most people do not know is because we make our fresh noodles here, anybody can always put in the order and say, do not cook the noodles.
No kidding.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of your noodles, from the first day you opened, you've been making your own noodles. Knowing what you now know, 3 years and change later, good idea? Bad idea?
Best idea.
Best idea.
Best idea. I mean,
why?
I like pasta. I like noodles. I go to restaurants. I look for bite. I look for texture. I look for slipperiness or lack of when you have a noodle. I've yet to really find any other noodles in town that, whether it's contract made or anything that actually works like ours.
When someone sits down, let's say you're handling the order, okay? Someone sits down you've never met before. When they order and eat their ramen, can you tell maybe if someone has severe experience with ramen or they're a newbie? Are there any giveaways?
Very much so.
You gotta tell me.
Someone sits down, looks at the menu and glazes over everything, and you ask them, are you ready? Do you need help? And they say, nope. And the first thing they order is spicy miso tonkotsu. You know they're pretty much 9 out of 10 first timers.
First timers?
Yep.
Okay.
Or novice ramen eaters.
Right, like newbies learning their way around.
Right.
Okay.
Newbies.
What about someone vastly experienced? Let me give you an example. They lived in Japan for 15 years. They got an opportunity to come to America and work in Houston. They could be Asian, maybe not Asian. Maybe they're from Italy for all you know, but they have vast experience in ramen. They come here, they sit down. Is there anything that's a direct giveaway that these people know ramen?
Very much. When they order our tampopo with a straight up shoyu traditional style, and you can't persuade them to try anything else, or they go for a tetsumax, which is a very traditional dipping ramen, from the almost like the ones that you find at Taishoken restaurant in Japan. And they look at it and you tell them about it and be like, no, that's exactly what I want.
Now, you recently had uploaded something on Facebook that was one of your latest introductions to the menu. Could you tell me a little bit about it?
It's a different type of ramen. we've always been serving it in Seattle for I mean, not always. We've been serving it in Seattle for the last maybe 2 years. Because of the way Samurai trains his people, we didn't feel comfortable bringing it on until recently. So what it is, it's actually a shiro tonkotsu, which means white tonkotsu. It's a mix, has a base soup mix that is a little bit creamier and milkier. As for some of our friends, they say it takes away the stinkiness of the pork.
I know who that is. Okay.
And by the way, he came by and he killed the bowl. Almost had no drop left.
Okay. One last question.
Sure.
And then I'll leave you alone.
No,
and get back to work. How many people come in here and call it tonkatsu?
9 out of 10.